to EFT session. We're going to talk about how to stop that bear from coming after you all day long, where you start feeling that anxiousness and worry that just kind of chatter in our head that follows us everywhere. And for some odd reason, it just seems to get worse during menopause, right? And that's because of a number of things. So in menopause, we have of course, upheaval of hormones. We all know that. And that's a subject for another live video. But that upheaval, that change, also elicits a lot of emotions that are stored, that are in our body, that are unconscious, that are stored in our body and our unconscious mind. And it often drives our behavior and how we feel. And we feel a lot of times that we don't have control over that. And a lot of people, a lot of women resort to taking medications, and that's kind of, you go to the doctor and you tell them what's going on, and a lot of them, that's the first thing they want to do. Or therapy. Well, therapy at least is natural and can be extremely helpful. So I'm not saying not to do therapy, but these are the things that I'm going to talk about today are self-healing techniques that you can do at any time. And it's just part of our program. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Manon Fielding, and I have a program called Holistic Strategies for Eternal Youth, Menopause, and Beyond. And what this program is a transformational program for women in menopause to go through this period towards aging in a healthy, happy, holistic way. And it is very possible because I've done it myself and I've helped many other women do the same. We're going to get started with this. What I'd like to do is see if anybody is on, if you will sign in and just give me your name and where you're from. And as I mentioned, I'm Dr. Manon Fielding. I'm here in North Carolina. Weather is beautiful today, 67, like perfect, sunny. Let me know where you're coming in from. All right, so in the comments for this, I did put a link for you to have access to these two techniques. And you'll see it in the comments for the event. You can go ahead and get that and print it out if you don't have it. Hi, Michelle. If you don't have it, it's okay. You can still follow along with this, and I'll make sure that it's in the comments and that you can get it after the video, and that way you can use it whenever you want. So the first technique is EFT, and what that means is emotional freedom technique. And it is a technique that's I don't know when it started exactly, but it's been around for a number of years, and you can use it for emotions, you can use it for physical problems, you can use it for business, all kinds of things. And we're going to do it today, of course, for emotions. And we're going to be tapping on different parts of our body, and I'm going to go through that in a minute a little more specifically. But all of these points that we're going to be working on are acupuncture points. They're points on meridians that help to internalize the words that we're going to be saying. So it helps to reprogram your body and mind. And so whatever you're saying is going to get internalized. So and I'll go through the pattern and we'll talk about that. So, a lot of times we feel like we're hijacked. Oh, I don't need that in my ear right now. And we go through these mind loops. And when we do the tapping, it helps to reprogram what that mind loop is and make it a little more positive, because what we're thinking and feeling is what we're attracting into our life. So if you don't like the way things are in your life and you're not getting along with your family, or you're having problems with a spouse, or difficulties at work, all of those things are a reflection of what's going on inside of us, and we can change that. And you will see firsthand when you make that change that you'll see it reflected in your environment. It's really quite amazing. I want everybody to think about, we're going to start doing this tapping, and I want you to think about something that you're in the process of dealing with right now, something that is making you feel anxious and worried. And I want you to put it on a scale of 1 to 10 about how you're feeling right now. Is it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on that end of the scale? Like, how bad? And then I want you to assess it after this. And if it's not below a 5, you can, after we're done here, you can actually go back and redo it. And in case you didn't hear also that in the comments on the dashboard, I put a link to get a copy of what we're going to go over today so that you can do it at home. The 2 techniques that we're teaching, the first one being emotional freedom technique. And I'm going to put it in these comments also. I don't know why it's not showing up on this comment, but I did put it on the other one. All right, so the first point is the karate chop, and that's right here on the side of your hand. So you can just go start doing this and repeat after me. All right, even though I feel worried right now, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to come back to this moment. Even though my mind feels like a runaway train, I choose to remember I am safe. I'm going to go through that part again. Even though I feel worried right now, I choose to feel peaceful and calm. Even though I feel anxious, I choose to come back to this moment. Even though my mind feels like a runaway train, I choose to remember that I am safe right now. Okay, now we're going to tap some other areas, so just follow along with me. Eyebrow. I feel anxious. I'm always worrying. I want this to turn out the way I want it to. I want to feel in control. I want to feel safe. I feel anxious all the time under the collarbone. My mind is caught in a loop, so a little below your armpit. My mind is caught in a loop. I choose instead to feel peaceful and calm. Okay, I'm going to go through that series one more time. I feel anxious. I'm always worrying. I want this to turn out the way I want it to. I want to feel safe. I hate feeling anxious all the time. I just hate feeling anxious all the time. My mind is just caught in this loop. I choose instead to feel peaceful and calm. Okay, now back on the eyebrow. I feel safe in this present moment. And I release all my fear and worry. It's safe to be here in this moment. I love how I feel this moment. I feel safe right now. I'm choosing to feel peace and calm. Take a deep breath. I choose to feel peaceful and calm. I love being peaceful and calm. I love being peaceful and calm. I love how I feel this moment. Okay, I want you to release that. I want you to focus on something in the room, anything. Take a deep breath. And I want you to assess what number you're at right now. What would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? Put it in the comment. Let me know what you're feeling right now. And like I said, if it has not come down enough, then you can do it, repeat it again. Okay. So that is just like a little mini session, and most people feel something right away. Like I said, if you feel like you've calmed down a little bit, but you need it again, just go ahead and repeat that series. All right, we're going to go on to the breathing. So the second part is called the 4-7-8 breath. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the 4-7-8 breath, but this is a technique that was taught to PTSD in the military, the really Navy SEAL, and they used the breathing. They taught these different breathing techniques, this being one of the major ones, and then they also had a therapy group. So they kind of were going to compare the two groups and see which one got the most benefit. Okay, Debbie, you went from a 10 to a 7. Wow, that's great for like a 2-minute session. Thank you for letting me know that. So definitely repeat that. And you can, of course, change the wording. The wording is just to start you out with what you're feeling now and then what you want to feel. And there are many ways that you can do that. All right, the 4-7-8 breath is, so like I was saying, it was used to compare the Navy SEALs, and it made such a huge difference in the group that did the breathing compared to the therapy group that they decided to incorporate that as a regular part of their program to start this breathing, because it just seems like a lot when we use these techniques of breathing and EFT, where you don't have to verbalize the trauma and relive it, it seems to really help people actually move past it and to be able to conjure up an event or a feeling with, I'm sorry, not a feeling, but conjure up like an event without attaching the feeling. You actually clear it so that you are no longer attached to that harmful emotion. And it's actually very freeing. And that's one reason why it's called emotional freedom technique. All right, so the breathing, and that's great that some of you know about the 4-7-8 breath. And so I do want to stress that you're going to breathe through your abdomen. So I want you to feel your abdomen go out and come in when we do the breath, because when you breathe through your abdominal muscles and breathe down here, you're actually activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of the fight or flight response that we get from shallow breathing when we breathe up here. And it's also a reason why a lot of people have a lot of tension up here and have pain in the upper body, is because they're holding their tension, they're activating their sympathetic nervous system. So this breath kind of does the opposite, activating the other part. And some of you may have also heard of the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve technique, they call it. Really, when you do that breathing through your abdomen, you're activating your vagus nerve, which is also calming to your brain. So you're doing it just like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in to a count of 4, hold it for a count of 7, and then breathe out for a count of 8. And another thing that this breath does is bring in more oxygen, which is calming and helps to revitalize you, and breathe out the carbon dioxide, which is actually poisoning when it stays in your body too long, or you don't get it out of your lungs, then it actually makes you feel more anxious. So you're doing a lot of different things at one time. All right, let's start together. You're going to take a breath in, breathe in through your belly, up through your chest, all the way up. Count of 4, hold it for a count of 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out for a count of 8. You can breathe through your nose or your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your belly's going in. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One again. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now just take a regular breath. So, Debbie, if you were a 7 before, did that bring you down anymore? The breathing, you can do that either before the EFT or after or both, focusing on your breathing. Like I mentioned, some of the benefits. The other thing is that your mind is focused on the breathing. So it doesn't have mental capacity to think about the breathing and why you're so anxious all at the same time. So you're actually taking up space in your brain, so to speak. All right. So before we finish up today, I want to see if anybody has any questions to please post them in the comment. Oh, that's great, Debbie. If anybody has any questions, please post it. And also, like I said, I put this, the link to get this information. If anyone is interested in knowing more about the transformational program that I discussed at the beginning, my website is askmeanythingaging.com. It's for women in menopause and beyond that really want to transform their life physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. Just really do an overhaul, which is kind of what I did on my own, going back to school. And so now I'm a holistic chiropractor. I've been doing that for 30 years. I'm a counselor. I'm specializing in addiction. And I had a daughter who was a heroin addict, and that's one of the things right when I was going through menopause. So that was part of the reason I was so anxious. Let me see. So you've been having anxiety and panic attacks because of menopause, scalp pain. Okay. So have you had it diagnosed? Do you know what's going on there? Or it sounds like you have some kind of a deficiency in something. is my guess. And of course, the anxiety and panic attacks that we attach to all of these things only serve to worsen it, because when we're calm, we make better choices. And much of much of the things that happen to us have to do with our lifestyle. I don't know if you know this, but 70 to 90% of menopause symptoms are due to lifestyle. And that's one of the things we teach in our course, is that, the diet, the exercise, all of those things, they're all important. And okay, Debbie, you're going through the blood work now. Okay, if you have anything you want to ask me after you get your blood work, feel free to message me. You check your estrogen, cortisol. Yeah. Well, losing your hair is, and scalp stuff. I mean, I'm not saying hormones aren't involved and they can worsen it, but there's something else beyond that. It could be thyroid, it could be some other deficiency. So I really just want you to kind of look at the full picture, and hopefully you're going to someone that can look at you more holistically, and not just hormones, because hormones are a big part of it, but they're not everything. They are not everything. They don't solve everything. Okay. Any other comments or questions today? All right. Well, yes, ma'am, they say my thyroid levels are normal. Okay. Well, if you didn't have, I'll tell you two things. A lot of times they say thyroid is normal when it's not, because they don't really read them correctly. And they're not looking at all the hormone, they only look at TSH. I don't know if you also had the T3 and T4 are also important parts of that. I don't know if it's your thyroid, but I'm just saying that that is potential. And a lot of women are misdiagnosed, actually not diagnosed when it really is thyroid. So anyway, I really enjoyed talking to you guys today, and if you have any other questions, you can message me. Um, as a provider, you are allowed to send me messages, and I really appreciate talking to you today. You're getting ready to go to a better specialist. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Unfortunately, I found that I had to be my own advocate, which is how I learned so much about everything, is because I voraciously was reading, and I started working on myself, and then I started working with my patients, and I've just, you live and learn. You learn a lot by trial and error sometimes, but if you keep yourself open to it and don't pigeonhole and look a little wider, sometimes you will find an answer that you weren't really expecting. And stay calm and peaceful, because then you're going to make better decisions. All right. So we're going to end things today. I really appreciate you all participating, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.